We are live.
Good evening.
Hi everybody, welcome to Knitting Across the Pennines.
How is everyone?
Yeah, hope you're all okay. I'm kind of looking at what I'm doing and wondering if I've dropped a stitch. Or picked up a stitch or something.
Your stitches have gone awry, love.
I think I've maybe got the correct number, it just didn't look right. You know, when you do the resting row after a complicated cable row, and you start looking at it to think, is that right? Is that not right? So has everybody got a drink? Have we all got a beverage with us this evening? I know we're a little bit early, so sorry to mess you about. My son is on different shifts at the moment. So for the next 4 weeks, I have to pick him up at about 7:45. So obviously finishing at 7:30 would have been a little bit too tight, really, allowing for travel and issues. And
I quite like the new times. I'm thinking that I won't feel tired in the morning.
Well, no, you won't feel tired in the morning.
Because I went to bed at 8:10 last night, you know.
Did you go to sleep at 8:10?
I went to
slightly
sleep.
Different.
No, I would say I probably went to bed at about 5 o'clock, sat in bed watching telly and stuff. But yeah, I turned my light off 8:10, and I reckon it took no more than 15 seconds to get to sleep.
You blinked and it was Thursday.
Well, I blinked and it was a couple of hours later and I needed a wee. And I did the wee song. I need a wee. I need a wee. See, this is what you come here for, the high entertainment. It's high class.
Yeah, the absolutely amazing singing. That operatic training really shows, Emma.
I might have to add the wee song to a special verse to the outro song.
You could add the wee song. That would add an element of class.
It would add something.
So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, I could show you my whips and my squishy mail that came.
Oh.
Oh.
Whip out your whips first then.
Right, let's have a look. So, my whips. First of all, Marian is coming along. We did lose at Yarn Chicken.
I thought you would.
I thought I would, but you know when you're just hoping and praying that you're wrong, even though you know you're not going to be wrong. Even when the evidence is staring you in the face and slapping you with a wet kipper.
Yeah, hashtag 2020.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a post actually, just diverting for a moment, on Facebook the other day that said something about, I'm really annoyed with Busted or McBusted, I can't remember which one it was, who went to the year 3000 but didn't bother to tell us about 2020. Which I thought was quite funny.
I did say a funny one earlier, and it was forget elf in a shelf this year.
Yeah.
For 2020, I give you mask and a flask.
Oh, I love it. I really do. I love that. So, okay, let's have a look. Where did we get up to? I've done the bottom and I did the button band. So,
yeah,
that's all done. I need to do the buttonhole band and the neck band.
Okay.
So, then that will be finished. Short sleeves, looking gorgeous, aren't they there?
Looks really good.
Yeah. So that is whip number 1.
And that's the Starcraft Bellissima for anybody that's just tuning in for the first time. And the colour is ash rose, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so whilst I was waiting for squishy mail, I cast on my own version of the same cardigan, but in the smallest size. So saddle shoulders cast on first.
Yeah.
Then put them onto holders, pick up and knit and cast on the neck. A few short rows at the neck, and now I have to knit until this bit here, this measurement from the pick up until here is 16 centimeters.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working on at the moment. And this is Highland Heathers in colour moss, I believe it is. Is it moss?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's green and blue and brown. It's gorgeous. It's definitely a me colour, do you think?
I think it's lovely.
I definitely think that's a me colour. So yeah, so those are my whips. Have you got whips?
I'm working on my evergreen cowl. If you were watching last time, you'll know that I had to rip it back because the textured bit in the centre of the diamonds had unfortunately become reverse stockinette because I was knitting in my sleep, I think.
Yeah.
And you know when you've written a chart so you don't really feel like you need to check it or follow it. But apparently you're a moron, so you should.
You went into custard mode.
Yeah, I went into something moron mode maybe, but yeah. Most definitely. Do you like my Vera with my
I do
turtleneck jumper underneath? Because it's going to be chilly when I go out to get JB. So.
It's definitely chilly. It's taken a turn for the winter today, I think.
Yeah, it was cool out. I was going to put some washing out because it was sunny earlier and quite windy, and I thought, well, you know, get a breeze on it and some fresh air, it'll be fine. But then I'm stood there thinking, yeah, is it actually going to dry or is it just going to get cold and then bring that cold into the house?
Bring the frozen washing in.
Yeah, so I got hung up indoors instead, which is
fun.
fine. It's all good. So I've got a faux.
Oh, we like faux.
So this is my Cathedral Cable cowl.
Oh, gorgeous.
So
I love that.
Try and get you a decent close-up of the cables. It's about 10.5 inches tall. It's about 18.5 circumference, unstretched, but obviously is very stretchy. And if I wet block it, it will grow massively. This is Debbie Bliss, Bluefest Leicester Aran. The colourway is stone. It goes quite nicely with my sweater, fairly neutral.
Gorgeous.
And I wore it this morning, sort of folded in on itself. Because the coat I was wearing, I needed a shorter cowl. Otherwise, the collar would have sort of done this with me.
Yeah.
It's one of those that fastens up a bit high.
Yeah.
Or, of course, you can wear it long and cover your face, mask-like.
Yeah, see, multi-purpose
dog walking days and things like that. And I'm thinking I absolutely have to do a sweater with this pattern because I just really enjoyed the cables and it's so relaxing. It actually took me longer to decide on how to do the ribbon at the top than it did to knit the previous 20 rows, but there you are.
If you do that as a knitter, as a jumper, hold that back up again, 2 seconds. The only thing is, with the skinny people, be careful you don't have the boobies in the hole bits at the top.
Yeah, I need to look at the placement. I will probably do this top down so that I can control where they are.
They would be peepholes. They would be perfect.
Yeah, you don't want any sort of nippling going on. Funnily enough, somebody I was chatting to the other day said, I watched one of your lives. Emma's t-shirt, what was that about? And I said, what do you mean? Well, she had these massive sort of ball shapes on her bosoms and it really accentuated them. And I said, well, we were talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and making sure to feel your boobs. Oh, and I said underneath that, I think it probably says something like "get your knits out."
It does, yeah, knits out.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I couldn't see that on the screen. I was thinking, I wouldn't go out with that. Should I say something? Surely Loraine will speak to her about it. Surely Loraine will mention it. Loraine. So
I would not wear it to work. Put it that way. Could you imagine me walking around college with a load of 16 and 17-year-old lads coming the opposite way? Yeah, I don't think my professional demeanour would get away with that.
No, it'd be a bit like Kevin and Perry, wouldn't it? So who's here? Oh, Carol's here. Not perfect. Lovely to see you, Carol. How are
Hello.
you? Catherine's in the house from British Columbia.
Oh, hello to
Rita's
Cumbria.
here. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Are you coping? Are you well away from any of the nasty weather that's going on? I know just Andy
Oh,
and Lisa DP in the after party are battening down the hatches, and everybody's
hoping for
sending
the
lots
best.
of prayers across, given the hurricane season at the moment. They seem to be sort of circle dancing, square dancing, and just dancing all over the place. There seems to be no
Tag
pattern, does
teaming.
there?
I think they're tag teaming everyone.
I used to say that Britain had, sorry, the rest of the world had a climate and Britain just had weather.
Yeah.
And lots of it, but the US does seem to be getting much more weather rather than climate these days.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe it's all that hot air that's floating around.
I wonder where it's coming from.
I do
Makes you
not
wonder,
know.
doesn't it?
Yeah. I can kind of picture a building where it might be emanating from.
Yeah, yeah. But then also there's probably people in that building who are like sending out the ice stairs as well.
Yeah, it could be that.
You know.
Could be that.
Yeah. So there's a bit, you know, the
The
opposite
hot and the
polar
cold.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Imagine having to work there and having no choice over it.
I know. Has everybody got a beverage? What have you got to drink?
Black tea. What's in your sippy cup?
In my sippy cup, it's my mighty mug. And it's because I am not to be trusted with a tall cup. It sort of has a sticky bit, and it sticks itself to the worktop, and you can only lift it vertically. You can smack it sideways, and I really have walloped it, and it does not tip over.
You need to tell me where to get one of those.
Unless it's on a coaster, in which case the coaster lifts. So you have to attach it to the table, or desk, or whatever.
And got
them at Lakeland. Lakeland Plastics or Lakeland Limited, I think it's called now.
I'm going to have to find one, because I don't think Michelle or Anne are here, but Anne is not allowed a cup of tea in bed because she's so clumsy. She has to physically get up in the morning before she's allowed her first cup of tea.
Oh, bless. Now, Catherine's laughing because she said she wanted one of those T-shirts that Emma had, because her "I knit so I don't kill people" isn't a good choice for work.
I don't think knit out is either, to be honest.
It depends on the work. I mean, obviously, if you're an assassin, it's probably not a great choice either, because you might be seen as sort of lacking in attitude.
Unless you're trying to disguise the fact that you're an assassin. Throw the scent off.
Yeah, could be that. And obviously that bag of pointy needles could just be anything.
Yeah.
Could be that. Carol's got tea. Is it builder tea? Have you got tea with milk, or are you on sort of Earl Grey hot? Catherine's got some coffee.
Good choice.
Oh, Rita, orange spice tea.
Oh, that's very seasonal.
So good. And all that vitamin C.
Definitely.
Yeah, keep that corona at bay. Oh, Carol says she can't stay. She's going to the hairdresser. Well, lovely to have you pop in, and I hope you enjoy your trip to the hairdresser. But do stay safe, and let us see a photograph in the after party of your beautiful new hairdo.
Yes.
Because we like to enjoy these things.
That's a different kind of faux.
Jackie's in the house.
Yay! Hi, Jackie.
Hello. How are you doing?
Got cuppa?
Have you got a brew? What have you got to drink? Let us know what you've got.
So I've got a boring t-shirt on tonight. In comparison, I have my Emerald Bar Queen one. But you'd only know it's a Queen t-shirt if you're a fan.
See, I wouldn't have had a Scooby about that.
Yeah, because it is from the song Spread Your Wings. And it's about a lad that works in the Emerald Bar, you see. And it says on here, you can't see this, but it says proprietor John Deacon. Because he wrote the song. Shall I show you my squishy mail?
Oh, yes. Does this include the yarn you needed to finish your Marian card?
Well, you know what it's like. You need one ball. But you can't just buy one ball, can you?
No.
Because it would be rude. You'd end up having to pay postage. And why would I pay for postage when I can get extra wool? So Caitlin saw this bag at this gorgeous bag. And she was like, oh, what's in there? Can I open it? And I said, oh, it's wool. And she went, oh, well, I needed wool. Did you really? She just wasn't impressed. She just doesn't understand.
Well,
so,
she is young.
We can figure
time to slap it out of her.
So we have one ball of Bellissima. Oh, upside down.
That was the essential yarn, obviously.
This is the essential ash rose. That doesn't look like ash rose in this colour, but we needed that. Okay, and then accidentally, as it happens, blue fell in my basket.
That's not like you.
I don't know where the blue thing came from. This one is called Double Denim in the Bellissima again.
Oh, that's pretty.
It is pretty, isn't it? And unfortunately, more blue fell in the basket. Crofter. That one's quite nice, isn't it? So
it's cute. What colourway is that?
It's called 0174.
That's a pretty name.
Isn't it just?
How imaginative. It will have a name because they've usually got names like Becky.
Yeah.
And
so I'm wondering if I might be able to, you know.
Well, they might work well together.
I'm going to swatch and see how we get on.
Are you thinking a shawl or?
I'm thinking a jumper.
Oh.
I'm thinking a jumper.
Oh, that's nice. So what's everybody got on their hooks or their needles at the moment? So Jackie's not got a drink yet, sorry. Well, it's okay. That's allowed. Have you finished your painting or are you still busy decorating? She's been super busy this last few weeks. Honestly, it exhausted me to hear about everything she was doing, let alone actually have to do it. I don't know if she manages.
No. She definitely deserves a sit down with a whip and a drink.
Yeah. Did I show you the cardigan I made for my mother? That I made for me, but that is the wrong shape for me.
I don't think we've seen it finished. We've seen a picture of it finished on is it Sophie? Vicky, that's I never remember Vicky's name.
Yeah, the gentleman one is upstairs and he's called Victor.
Oh, see, makes sense.
So can you see the tweedy flecks in the yarn, the yellow and the blue?
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And then there's the odd sort of larger fleck that appears.
It's really lovely.
And I quite like the little cable down the front, but it's far too open front for me.
Yeah.
It will look perfect on my mum, who's got smaller hips than I have and is more proportional in shape.
Okay.
And overheats an awful lot, so she will appreciate the fact that it's open front. But I do love the yarn, so I might have cast on already.
Oh.
I've just done a plain raglan.
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about yet. No pattern as yet. I'm just seeing how I go and playing around with the shaping on the front to get to where I want. At the moment, it's sort of going like a V shape at the front.
Yeah.
Sort of there. But it may end up being a slightly scooped neck. I don't know yet.
Just go where the yarn takes you. It'll be fine.
Absolutely. Oh, Catherine's still knitting her test knit socks. How are they coming along, Catherine? Are you pleased? Jackie is gritting her teeth to finish the last of the glosswork. Oh my God, glosswork. It's not so much the painting, because that's super quick, isn't it? Even when you've had to do the priming and the undercoats and things like that. It's keeping everybody's bloody sticky mitts and dog hair and all of that stuff off it while it dries, isn't it? It's and particularly if you do bathrooms and sort of high traffic areas, they're really hard work because you almost have to put an armed guard on the door.
I don't have any gloss in my house for that particular reason.
Yeah. Rita, so she says, I'm working on the border on this syringa shawl, doing the rectangular version. That is the lovely one, Rita.
I haven't seen that one, have I?
I don't know. Do you want me to have a look for it?
Yeah, have a little look and see if you can find it.
Is it on Ravelry? I'll just use a bit of Google Foo. It'll turn up one.
You're good at Google Foo.
Googly Fooing. So
We need a little song to go when you're doing your Google foo.
what?
Here comes the Google
Google
foo.
Fit Fighting or something like
Yeah.
that. Is it crochet or knit, Rita? Should have asked.
It'll probably be crochet, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, is it Lisa Myers or Elena Fedotova, Tanya Syringia?
Loraine is Google fooing. Wow. Yeah. She's gonna be fast as lightning.
Now there's one by Anne Linda Helm, Paul
Oh.
Centrum, and one by Elena Fedotova.
Rita's keeping us guessing. She's not giving us
I
any
think it's
clue.
Elena Fedotova. I think so, from other projects that Rita has done. So
Okay.
we can have a look at both. It's not a problem,
Yeah.
is it? We're always quite happy to see. So that's syringe shawl, neck torso shawl wrap. That is pretty, isn't it? It's almost snowflakey.
That would be perfect for this time of year. Oh, look, she's answered.
Yeah, there's always a delay, isn't there, between us seeing it?
We always forget that. That is gorgeous. What colour is Rita doing it in? Has she told us this?
She might have done. Let's have a look at projects and see if Rita's done a project page. Oh, there we go. I think we had a look at this before.
Yes, I remember it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember that. That's gorgeous.
That is really pretty.
I remember you.
Are you too young to remember an advert in the 80s where this girl has fallen out with her boyfriend and she's at the beach and it's raining and eventually the rain stops and she's got one of those plug into the cigarette lighter heaters for her coffee?
Okay.
And she just sits and sings I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Do you remember that one?
No, I know the song. The poor guy passed this week. The guy who sang I Can See Clearly Now the Rain Has Gone.
Yeah, because he's died today or this week.
Yeah. I know the song. No, I don't remember the advert.
As soon as they said the title, I was right back there with her on this cliff edge, overlooking the sea, in the rain, with a hot drink that she'd warmed up and listening to that song on the radio. And that took me back years to, when I was in my early teens, probably when that. I'll see if I can share the advert. It'll definitely be on YouTube somewhere.
Cool.
As Carol will know, well, I think she's left us now to go and get her hair done. She'll be looking absolutely fabulous. Things have really kicked off for the gal mods.
Oh.
So every time I go into Ravelry, there's like a gazillion messages with people.
When we say kicked off, we're not having fisticuffs, are we?
No.
Oh, that's all right.
No,
because that's what we say when the kids are having an argument. They've all kicked off.
No, nothing like that. Some of the gal mods keep in touch. We have a group on Slack for the gal mods who want to keep in touch during the year. George, 10 hours or less, doesn't. He doesn't use Slack at all. He just, when Nina opens the sort of backstage area, sends a message out saying, right, gal time. George shows up. Done. So the whole gal in the backstage area, it's usually at least once a day there'll be some kind of post about how I'm doing his head in.
Yeah, he always takes the mickey out of you.
Or thank goodness for Brexit, because I'll just be banished to the far ends of the earth and he won't have to put up with me again or something like that.
Does he not realise that Brexit already happened and that he's still having to put up with you?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And one of the things that really made me laugh today was I'd shared a post. There's a designer, Yellow Cosmo, who some of you may be familiar with. She's released, funnily enough, a yellow sweater today.
Oh, okay.
I think it might be
coincidental.
Richmond or something like that. But she's released it. It's got a patterned yoke. It's very pretty. I looked
Mhm.
at it because I like her design work, and it's always lovely photography. And I'm thinking, okay. And then there's usually a discount for sort of pattern launch. And the code I will vote, one word, lowercase, will get you 15% off. And I will vote for Joe Biden with capitals, get you 30% off.
I love it.
So,
I hope she's doing like an exit poll type thing.
there were quite a few comments earlier on with people saying, I love the code. Now, whether it was just a statement as far as the code or whether it's, I don't know if you can set codes for different countries, but when I
Right.
put the code into my basket, it just said code redeemed.
All right, cool.
So either she's not set up the code correctly or it's targeted at certain audiences and you have to be in a country where, obviously in the US, where you could vote.
Right.
uh,
Well, I think we
election.
probably
But
would
I
vote.
thought it was one of those things where I thought, this is either going to go really, really well,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a real bite you in the bum moment.
Yeah.
But my heart says that if that's what she believes, I'm really glad she did it, because, you know, evil rises whenever good men do nothing. And
Exactly.
I think sometimes just stating your case and letting people know where you stand is just the way to be. And they can choose whether they want to buy and whether they don't want to buy. And I hope it's very successful for her.
I think it's brilliant.
But what does everybody else think? Do they think it's an appropriate sort of marketing thing for Ravelry? Do you think it'll be removed? I don't know what the rules are on this because I've never seen anybody do it before. Never seen anybody do it before.
Arthur came to say that he approved, I think. He's gone again now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's not... The only thing that he's really banned, well, that Ravelry's really banned, was hate speech, wasn't it?
I think so. And I think there's been one or two patterns banned on religious grounds.
Right, okay.
But it is a very, very tiny number of patterns. And I don't think they ban the pattern. I think they just ask her to remove the code if it were an issue.
Right.
But I'm just intrigued to see how it plays out and what everybody thinks.
I mean, to be fair, the code itself might go underneath the radar.
It may well, but we'll never know, will we? Probably not.
Not unless she says something.
I just thought it was interesting.
It's brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
I noticed Brooklyn Tweed had put out some new patterns this week, so they were interesting. I quite liked Georgie Locatelli's. I never know if it's Georgie or Hohi, but on YouTube she calls herself Georgie. So
right, okay.
I'm going with Georgie.
Well, yeah, I think she knows how to say her own name.
And it's called Rituals. Do you want to have a look at that?
Yes, we definitely want to have a look at that.
Okay, so Chrome tab. There we are.
Oh, that's lovely.
I liked the lace. It's obviously top down, simple-ish pattern.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice little eyelets. Obviously increases and things being done in the stockinette and straight sections.
Yeah.
The yoke. And you can do certain elements of them within the lace, doing extra repeats and things like that to get everything wider. So I just thought it was very simple but very clever.
I really like that.
She's got a lovely sense of style. It's a shame really because she tends to live in black and grey. But I really like that green on her.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'd be able to wear it myself. I think it'd just make my bust look huge. But it is lovely.
Just sort of a line of stripes above and below.
I think it just the whole style of it. I mean, I can't wear a yoke style anyway, and that looks quite yokish.
But I thought that was pretty.
It is gorgeous.
This is the yellow Cosmo one. So you can
that's
see
nice.
I will vote for.
That's nice. I like that
but
one.
I thought that was a pretty yoke, and I like the way the lace, and there's no reverse stockinette or anything like that. It just
Yeah,
very
and I like
gently
the cuff.
fades out, and yeah, the detailing at the cuff is pretty, and there's a similar detail at the bottom. It's harder to see
Got
on,
a short one, yeah.
yeah, so where she's done the cropped version. So I thought that was nice.
That's what I'm doing with my Marian. My mum's is the short sleeved and mine's going to be the long sleeved.
And I quite like this from Nora Gone
Oh, look at that.
for Brooklyn Tweed. And absolutely 10 out of 10 for pattern placement. There's nothing that says nipplage or
Yeah,
here are my boots, please take them there.
it could have gone wrong.
Yeah, it could have been disastrous, but it's worked out really well because she's considered where to put the patterning.
Do you know this this style where they're shorter and that? I was watching Sense and Sensibility the other day where they had the Regency styles, and they used to wear those little jackets that kind of stopped under the bust line. And the jumpers that are in style at the moment just really remind me of that fashion where they used to wear the little jackets, but it's a jumper instead of a jacket.
Yeah, it is quite a flattering length. It depends obviously what you're wearing on your lower body, and that needs to kind of skim any lumps and bumpage and just flow down quite nicely. Or if you do have a lot of lumpage and bumpage and what you're wearing, you know, skinny jeans or something like that, then for me I would want Spanx or something to just flatten out some of the more rampant lumpage.
I wear skinny jeans, and I've taken to doing, you know, the French tuck, but I do it on one leg rather than too much in the middle. And if you do it on one side above the leg and tuck it in, it elongates your leg, and it actually does make me look taller.
Oh, that's good. Catherine's saying she figures that someone, there's always someone,
there's always someone,
will complain and it'll get removed due to the number of people whose tea patterns were removed. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? But I mean, they've come out as very anti-tea, haven't they?
Yeah.
Barely even
someone will complain.
Want to say the man's name. Rita says that Kingsbury sweater is lovely. It's beautiful yoke, very very clever design.
I've always thought it was quite appropriate that his name is another word for a fart. I'm sorry, but
yeah. And I don't think there's much else you can say about the man, really. Yeah.
He is, and that's it. So I've got another game to play tonight. If anybody would like to partake, if we've got nothing else.
Okay, well, I think the only thing I would suggest is we need to understand the rules. Before we play.
This one's a little bit easier. This one is the Wikipedia game. So I'll read you bits out of a Wikipedia page, and you have to guess who the person it is that it's written about.
Okay. Is everybody ready with that then? So
does that sound quite straightforward? So you have to give everyone a chance to answer, though, Lorraine.
Yeah, okay.
And I chose this person because they knit. It is a famous person who knits. That's what you're getting. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right. Here we go. Okay. We don't want that. We'll go for personal life. I'm going to go for personal life.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just stuck on the movies at the minute, and I shouldn't have done. So this person is in movies, obviously. This person is a she. She was born on October the 28th, 1967. And by the way, no using your Google foo. Okay. No Google foos. October the 28th, 1967. She has English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, German, and Swedish blood in there somewhere. So she's a bit of a mishmash. Her father was a Baptist, her mother a Catholic. She has an older brother called Eric, and she has an older sister called Lisa.
Oh.
Okay. What should we go? Oh, you don't want to know about that. In the 1980s, is when she started her acting career.
Okay.
And she's been in some very, very, very famous movies. Like I said, she likes to knit. Let's go down here. I'm not telling you any of that because you'll just get that straight away. We'll go on to personal. Oh, she runs the production company Red Films. Okay. With her sister Lisa, and who's Marissa? Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's anyone to do with her. Don't worry about that. Okay, she's had romantic relationships with Jason Patrick, Liam Neeson, Kiefer Sutherland, Dylan McDermott, and Matthew Perry. She was engaged to Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, I think Catherine's got this.
Okay, has Catherine got it? You going to say it?
Julia Roberts, Catherine.
It was Julia Roberts. Well,
yeah, it was the Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, had you guessing for a while there, though, didn't I?
Well, there was a post I saw in another group, and I almost shared it in our group, but I wasn't sure. So I will apologise in advance for a little bit of effing.
Okay.
And wrong, she says Michelle in EastEnders.
I don't think Michelle in EastEnders went out with Kiefer Sutherland.
No, but she is a producer and director.
Ah, yeah, she is. She is.
Yeah, just a bit wrong. Yeah, so close.
I think was it something Tully, her name?
Susan Tully.
Susan Tully. I think she'd have loved to have gone out with Kiefer Sutherland.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah. Come on then, let's do this post.
So anyway, it was about Dame Judi Dench.
Oh.
Who apparently is a knitter, and if you watch the movie Ladies in Lavender, for several scenes she's knitting a piece in the round with double pointed needles, and it looks like the sleeves of a sweater. It's a sizable thing.
Okay.
And she's quite competent, and she rarely looks at it as she knits, which suggests that she's fairly comfortable with her knitting.
Yeah.
And it looks like beautifully even tension as well. So it's not like someone else has knitted it and handed it to her, and then she's wobbled her way through doing a few rows, and then you get that line of big stitches, which are a massive, massive clue. But apparently one of her favourite things to do on set is embroidery.
Oh.
Now, I will mention the C word, and I don't mean the Christmas one. Apparently, she's well known for embroidering cushions and other gifts for people, telling them they are a C or an A. Or the one that made me laugh out loud was a medieval sort of design, beautifully embroidered with trees and things like that on it. Looks like something out of the Tudor era.
So is this a bit like Carry On Henry?
And it came out with... she does a lot of stuff like Carry On Henry for anybody that's seen it. But it was, behold, the field where I grow my fox. It is barren.
That's brilliant, because she doesn't give one.
Yeah, and I just, you can imagine people watching her on set and going, "Isn't that lovely? Isn't she sweet doing her little bit of embroidery, and how gorgeous it is?" And Matthew McFadden apparently in an interview with one of the big magazines has said, "Oh God, you think she's so sweet and absolutely adorable," and then she gives you a cushion with "You are a see you next Tuesday" on it.
I love it. Oh, she's one of my favourites.
And Keira Knightley said she's got hundreds of the damn things all around her house.
I love it, because she keeps getting given them.
And no, but Judi Dench has got a collection of them.
Oh, ready to
either gifts or she has dotted around her house, and people will move a cushion and then go, "Oh,
oh,
oh goodness."
Perhaps you should make one and have it just put at the back there behind you, and it could change every week.
Yeah. I feel like I want to do something sort of a bit like the Faulty Towers sign.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
farty owls and
Yeah, definitely.
stuff like that. So
Oh, you
it
should.
did amuse me. So not really kind of knitting related, obviously, because she does knit. But yeah, nice to know that there's alternative embroidery going on.
Well, yeah. It was, well, that's how I come across the Julia Roberts thing, because apparently Tom Hanks played a trick on her, because everybody was used to seeing her knitting on set in between her takes or whatever. And he got the whole group of them, like 60, 70 people in a room knitting. So when she walked in one day, all she saw was a load of people sitting around knitting.
Yeah, I've seen a video of that. I mean, some of them are really just holding needles and trying not
Yeah,
to
and
drop the
going,
stitches. But yeah.
oh, what is this evil magic that you do? See, is Anne still with us? You have to show her your sippy cup.
Oh yeah, it's a mighty mug.
And you can't knock it over, Anne.
Yeah, it's not sticky, but it's more of a silicone type material on the base, and you can attach it to your computer, and not mine because it's dusty.
Ah.
That's the flaw in the plan. It has to be a clean surface.
Oh, that's fine. Ian has to do his dusting every day. She's given him his orders.
Don't put it on a coaster. Put it directly onto the table or somewhere else, and it will. Because if you put it on a coaster and then whack it, it will just tip because the coaster will lift up.
Yeah.
But obviously the table won't. And even I have not spilt anything on my laptop with this, and I've killed 2 laptops with tea.
Don't speak too soon.
Seriously, got previous with that.
Yeah, don't speak too soon.
Yvonne's here. She'd missed that we were starting early. Yeah, sorry about that, Yvonne, but Jake's shifts have changed at work. So this will be our time on a Thursday for 4 weeks because I've got to go and pick him up.
I quite like it.
And I love you all madly, but not enough to pay £30 to pay for a taxi to pick him up.
Well, you know, he should be adulting now. Get him to do it himself. Can't he arrange a driving lesson to bring him home?
I was going to do that, but then he wouldn't get home till after 9 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock when he, more or less, when he gets out of work. And I dropped him off at 20 past 6 this morning, so it's a long old day.
He might not be able to concentrate on a driving lesson.
Yvonne says that's the kind of prank she can get behind. I mean, Tom Hanks, you're not going to get a nasty prank, are you, off Tom Hanks?
I love Tom Hanks.
He's just adorable.
Brilliant. Love him. I don't think he's ever made a bad movie, has he? Oh, actually, that Atlas thing. What was that?
The what?
It was something Atlas.
Oh, what was that thing on? Jackie might remember. I think I saw it on Netflix. It was throughout time, wasn't it? It took you forward and backwards and all over the place to the point where you didn't really know what was going on.
I didn't have a clue what was happening in that movie.
No, I didn't either. I had to check with Jackie and she had to explain it to me because I was just totally bombed out. Cloud Atlas. See, I knew you.
Cloud Atlas. Yeah, it was horrendous. I'm sorry.
I love seeing Tom Hanks. And is it Halle Berry that's in it? Jackie really enjoyed it.
Really?
I couldn't keep up with the back and the forth and who was meant to be where and where and when it all was. I've probably watched it tired, which doesn't help. Because
you might have to watch it again. I didn't understand a word of it.
I think I watched it on Netflix. I'll have to have a look and see if it's still on there. So what's everybody been watching while they've been crafting? Is there anything you would recommend?
I haven't watched anything new. I watched Schindler's List between yesterday and today. Just had it on. You know when you want something on but you don't want to have to concentrate because you've seen it already? I've got loads to watch, but I was like, no, I don't want to watch that because I want to watch it. So I put Schindler's List on.
I had Sense and Sensibility on yesterday.
I love that movie.
Rickman.
Oh,
Yeah. What is
when
there
he
to
comes
say?
in for the first time, I just love Alan Rickman. I was devastated when he passed. It's his voice. He's got a brilliant voice. Love it.
It's got a lovely voice. I'm sure I told you about that Galaxy Quest documentary.
Yes.
Yeah, where, where it's on about Tim Allen. And that, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just absolutely typical of Alan Rickman's sense of humour, that dry British humour, and
He definitely had British
the kind of
humour.
sarcasm going on, and yeah, just
But he could pull it off. The expression on his face, you know, he could pull that kind of thing off, couldn't he? Love him. Yeah, I watched Sense and Sensibility earlier in the week, because that's where Emma Thompson met her husband, isn't it?
I believe so. Greg Wise.
Yeah, he started dating the other one first. What's her name?
Kate Winslet.
That's the one. He was dating Kate Winslet, and she said, "Oh, I think you should date Emma. You're much more suited to her." And they've been together ever since.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Yvonne says she's mostly been listening to audiobooks this week. So what kind of books have you been listening to? I've not really read a great deal this week. Technical stuff and marketing things and
Boring stuff.
yeah, well, it's not boring. It's interesting in its own way, but it's not fascinating. I've just found an interesting free crochet pattern if anybody's interested.
Go on then.
Bit of Google for. Here we go. Dinah Girl's Sister.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, I think it shows better on that photograph because it almost gives you like an optical illusion where it's curved.
It's like a hound's tooth, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like that. I wouldn't go for anything like black and white, but I would certainly go with colours that would go with the red that would suit me.
You could even use just 2 colours, couldn't you, rather than 3?
Oh, absolutely. You could have the red bit in one of the colours from your multicoloured bit.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun.
That is nice.
Inspired by a 1950s diner in the colours. I'm assuming that's the tile floor.
And they used to have like red leather seats and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's great fun. So that's Dinah Girl's Sister by Diane L. Augustine.
I like that. I like that a lot. I've been reading this week the autobiography of Robert Lindsay.
Oh, right. Now, Citizen Smith.
Yeah, that's the one. It's part of 4 books that my librarian just picked for me. I asked for a fantasy book, a biography, a crime or thriller, and a historical fiction. The historical fiction she gave me was horrendous. Only read it because I'm one of those people, once you start a book, I have to finish it. And then I'm reading this one now, which is equally as boring, actually, to be honest. I don't really know much about Robert Lindsay. I've seen him on, what's it, My Family or something?
Yeah, he was in My Family, but in his youth he was in a programme where he was a rebel called Citizen Smith. Right. Him and his little happy band all called one another Citizen. And they were a bunch of morons.
Oh, right.
And his name was Wolfie. And he had this girlfriend, and her mother was played by Hilda Braid, who had this very soft voice, and she was called him Foxy.
Oh.
Are you all right, Foxy? It's Wolfie.
Oh.
Foxy.
That's the sort of thing I do.
But he got done for graffiti. This copper stopped him. He was writing graffiti on this wall, and it was "Be a rebel, think and he got as far as the AHE and didn't have room for the A and the D. So much for thinking ahead.
Well,
ran out of room.
Ran ahead, did he? Bless him. It's a bit boring, really. I mean, I've only got through his early years and his mum beating him to a pulp with her knitting needles.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not very encouraging.
I know. And the best of it is, when I asked for, I said a biography or a memoir, but categorically no child abuse, please. So she obviously didn't listen to me.
Oh, Yvonne's listening to the series Shatter Me by, oh, here I go.
Come on.
Tahira Mafi.
Tahira Mafi, yeah.
Tahira Mafi, new adult dystopian, easy entertainment despite the setting. I'll have a look at those, Yvonne. Thank you. So
Dystopians were big at one point, weren't they? You know, the old Hunger Games and...
They were, and that sort of Divergent.
I read all those.
I didn't read any of them. I watched the films.
The books were good, actually. I quite enjoyed the books. I read them on holiday when we went to Mallorca one year.
Might have had something to do with FOR, though.
Oh... Yeah,
rather than anything else.
I was thinking of watching Is It Sandringham just for him, because apparently it's absolutely pants.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's worth watching the episodes of Downton Abbey that he's in.
Mr. Farouk.
Yeah. I was sort of looking and thinking, he's really familiar. What have I seen him in?
Yeah.
And there was sort of the floppy curly hair that completely...
Thing is, that was only about the second ever episode, and you forget how early on it was that Lady Mary became a fallen Lady Mary, bless her. You can't blame her though, can you? Let's be honest.
Her. And I believe they've commissioned, Netflix have commissioned series 3 of The Witcher already.
Woo!
So that's good.
Have they managed to actually film series 2 yet?
There's a lot of teaser photos come out on social media this week of Henry Cavill's armour for Geralt, pictures of Ciri, who's learning to fight and protect herself and be a warrior, and Yennefer as well. So yeah, quite interesting to see how that's progressing.
Well, that's a bit of a spoiler then, isn't it? Because pretty sure at the end of season 1 he's looking for Yennefer and he doesn't know what happened to her at the end of the battle. Yeah, if they're showing pictures of Yennefer, that obviously tells you something, doesn't it?
Well, if you've read the books, then you know that she's there, and most people will have seen her in the various iterations of the game, so they'll know the sequence.
But some people won't.
Stories. Helen's saying, I finished Knife. Joe Nesbo at the last Harry Hole last night waiting for the VP debate. Now, is this the same character that's, what was the film? Is it Snowman with Michael Fassbender? As
the horror
detective? It was pretty horrible. I don't know if it's a horror. It was quite the murderer in it is quite a violent, nasty piece of work. It's not a pleasant film to watch, and I would imagine that it's not a pleasant thing to read. It's quite hard to read.
Right. Okay.
Yvonne says they're not the best books ever and get a bit predictable at some point, but she enjoyed the series. So.
Sometimes you just want easy listening.
Yeah. Oh, so it was the Snowman one.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, it was a good film, and I'll watch anything with Michael Fassbender. Just, you know.
If Henry's not available.
Yeah.
He'll do as a second.
Well, you know, he's me Marvel guy, and
you wouldn't kick him out of bed.
Henry's me DC guy, or trumping even. So Helen's saying yes, it's the right character. So that's good. What else have I been watching this week? There were some episodes of The Universe or something like that.
On Disney?
On that were on Netflix. So I've just been putting those on and learning about black holes, supernovas.
Cool.
How they calculate the distance of the stars one from the other or things like that. So yeah. Right, here we are. So Helen, we joked that they may have got confused and put it on as the kids' film. Yeah, that would not be good.
What, the Snowman?
Yeah, and Helen's saying that the film was not as good or gory as the book. Yeah, I'll have to check out the books.
I like the books better. They're usually better.
I'm more of an audiobook girl, I must admit. I don't.
Oh, I like to read.
If
When I've finished with you guys tonight, I'll be going straight to bed with a cup of tea and my book.
Oh, I'll be
Driving
for a quick wee and just let the dogs out and stuff, and then I've got to
you
drive
let the dogs out.
to get Jakey Boo. Who will? I don't know. He was in a better mood last night when I picked him up. Anyway.
All right. Did you remember his cookies?
I forgot his cookies, so my plan is that I'll pick them up tonight. So yeah, it was a bit bad, and he didn't want what I'd made for dinner, so I don't know whether to just pick him up a quick chicken tikka masala on the way from the.
Well, they might have one in Birchall or something.
They might.
You know.
They might well have something suitable. But it's payday tomorrow, so it might just be an Aldi trip. Yeah, sorry about the change of time, Helen. We did have to move it because of Jake's shifts and the fact that I'm the only taxi, and I have to go and pick him up.
You're the only taxi in the village.
It would appear that I am the only taxi in the village. Funny enough, somebody wants to open an archery range.
Oh,
near where I live.
You could get some nice medieval kind of people hanging out there, maybe.
I don't know. I think I told you about when Kevin and I went to Andy's Record years ago.
Right.
And somebody tapped Kevin on the shoulder. He had these little sideburns at the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
He looked a bit like Edwardian Dad, to be honest, out of the Viz comics. But he's very tall and quite lean, or was quite lean in those days. I don't know now because I don't see him. But this guy sort of looked at, and we were looking at the CD for the music from the Sharp series with Sean Bean.
Seen Bean.
Quick moment for a sigh.
Yeah.
And he went, are you into Napoleonics? Kevin kind of turned and looked at him and went, sorry? It's just we really need a Nelson, and you'd be perfect.
And did you take him up?
Some historical reenactment society. No, funnily enough, he didn't. But
I thought he was into Napoleon and stuff like that.
No, that's Mike.
Oh, that's Mike. Sorry, shouldn't get them mixed up.
Yeah, well, no, I don't.
No, you shouldn't. I think I can be forgiven having not meant either of them, but if you mixed them up.
Yeah, I'd be in big trouble if I got them mixed up.
Is that why you got with Mike then? Because you needed someone who was into Napoleonics.
He was into Napoleonics, yeah. Absolutely, that's the only reason. Yeah.
Yeah. That was top of your list, wasn't it? Must be into Napoleonics.
It was. I think we works well because one, he doesn't live here.
Yeah.
It's always a bonus for me because I love my own space and just doing things my own way. And it's just been Jake and I for such a long time, and I decide what happens and what goes where and how it goes and how it works. And
when you walk the dogs, when you don't walk the dogs, when you
do all of that. And we load the dishwasher differently. I mean that can be so problematic.
I have to redo it.
Yeah, well, because he does it wrong.
Yeah. All men do it wrong. And they do it wrong on purpose, I'm telling you.
And he says there's some sort of lock on it that's biometric that only opens for me. Oh. However, when I go to empty the dishwasher, because I'm the only person who ever empties it and refills it, there's always forks or a plate that's come out of the dishwasher that I know was in that load. So somehow they're getting in there. Yeah,
it's always the fork. I'm telling you, you need a fork. They get in there. My son's exactly the same.
Anyway, it's all fun. It's all good. But I'm feeling quite warm now in my
it's just in time for you to get ready to go and pick Jakey up then.
I know.
And, And you're dying to hear my outro song tonight, aren't you?
I am absolutely desperate to hear Emma sing. I can't wait.
You've been waiting since Monday.
Beautiful dulcet tones.
Well, you know, I've given you a little bit of a, a little taster tonight, haven't I? No special verses tonight because there wasn't really much going on in the world today, really. I could maybe have done one about Pence with his fly on his head, but I didn't.
Have you seen the photograph of Ruth Bader Ginsburg on Facebook saying, "I sent the fly"?
Now that's dissent. That's where it's come from.
Yeah, talk about doing it properly.
Well done, Ruth. Yeah, it's funny how it liked him and it didn't really bother anybody else. It's not as if the Perspex was a proper box and he was hermetically sealed in there. You know, unlike poor Trump's drivers who were hermetically sealed in the car with the COVID positive president. But we won't go there. That's fine. No.
Well, it depends if you believe he's actually got it.
That's true.
Might be like somebody else.
Is he going for the sympathy vote?
I suspect he is, yeah. I think
look, it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I think it's
I am strong.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yeah.
So are you going to do your singy-songy then?
Yeah.
So are you going to count down? Do you need to warm your voice up?
I do need to warm my voice up. And while I warm my voice up, you could maybe tell all our wonderful hundreds of millions of listeners when they can catch us next.
Yeah, we'll be on Sunday at our usual time, 3:30. Sorry about that. 3:30 on Sunday, UK British summertime.
Just warming my vocal cords up.
At least for now.
Are you ready?
Yeah, did somebody bring a crow?
Yeah, Arthur likes that. Yeah.
Right. Were you an extra in Splash?
I was. I was the one that made that noise that smashed all the TVs. The noise. Right, are you ready?
Yeah,
I'll give you a countdown.
Do a countdown.
5, 4, 3,